I know what you're thinking. Rahul didn't even make 100. What a loser. Isn't it a bit weird to play cricket sounds on a cricket channel? But I am confused, because isn't Rahul a player who cannot handle the best bowlers in the world, or the high pressure situations, or the World Cup at all? They make him fall apart like a flower caught in a Pratt & Whitney JT8D turbofan jet engine. So what has just happened then? Wait, is it possible that Rahul was always this good? This video is brought to you by Wicket Cricket Manager. Every day this World Cup, we will be going live at the end of the day's play with our show, The Scoreboard, over on our Jarrod Kimber podcast channel. I look at what happened on the field and also answer questions from the comments. This will be very triggering for many cricket fans who believe the only thing between them and complete happiness in life is the batting of Rahul. And I think there are perfectly reasonable reasons you can be upset with his batting. Early IPL Rahul looked like he would burn down your village. And the later version is a bit like someone who would bind you up in local government bureaucratic red tape. But most of the hate for Rahul doesn't actually make that much sense. By any casual look at his record, he's clearly an above average international player. Test is the only format that you could say there is a weakness in, and he's certainly struggled to get his average up to a decent level there. But in the IPL, over the last 5 years, he has the most runs. And even for India, he has a very good T20 international record. This man can play. And just pointing all this out ends up with you end up being a Rahul guy. And I am not a guy kind of guy. I just have eyes. And I can see he has good feet, adapts to many situations, can bat in multiple positions, plays with time, and can whack it a little bit when he's poked by a cattle prod. That's a lot of nice things in one player. And I think a lot of the hate comes from a teeny tiny little thing that happened during the back-to-back T20 World Cups. Rahul had a very odd and very noticeable pattern that was jumped on at first by hardcore fans, and then by casuals, and then the meme artists went to work on it. The idea was that Rahul could only score off bad attacks and couldn't handle the pressure of a major tournament. And this is a weird pattern. I've separated one lot of bowling teams into the top 5 and then just put everyone else together. And you can see that Rahul could not score off any of the best attacks over 2 World Cups. But you can also see that he made runs against Bangladesh and Zimbabwe, who, to be fair to them, had pretty decent attacks. He made runs against Namibia and Scotland and Afghanistan, who again had quality bowlers. But the point was that he makes runs against very good teams and not so much against the other. And if this was a young player in his first 2 events, it would be fair to ask the question. But this was a 30-year-old pro who had constantly been making runs against the best bowlers on earth. I must have missed the bits where he played 2 tests in the UK against Scotland and made hundreds. Oh, wait a minute. I got that wrong, didn't I? He made the 200s against England, didn't he? Silly me. Scotland don't even play tests, do they? But wait, I just showed you Rahul's record across 2 T20 World Cups. And yes, it is a weird pattern that definitely exists. But what does this have to do with his ODI performances? That is a completely different format with other skills. And I'm not saying they aren't related, because clearly they are. But if we're going to say someone isn't good at something, it's worth spending, 12 minutes of research to work out if that is true or not. And the first thing you will find out is that he has more than 2,300 runs in ODI cricket. To begin with, that's pretty good. He averages just a hair under 50, meaning that he has the 9th best average in this format ever. Can I drop this mic? I mean, unless he played a lot of ODIs against Papua New Guinea and Uganda, I would assume that he made these runs against very good attacks. And sadly, he hasn't played ODIs against those teams yet, but he has been really good against Australia and New Zealand. He passed 50 both times he played against Pakistan as well. He does have a poor record against South Africa and England, although he has made runs against those teams. And it's pretty obvious he would have a record like this. It would be nearly impossible to average 50 and only score against bad attacks. But this isn't the World Cup though, is it? So let's just look at the 2 major trophies he plays, the World and Asia Cup. There combined, he averages more than 60 compared to his 46 in bilateral ODIs. That is 15 matches with the pressure amped up, and he has done just fine. He's made runs, he's failed, just like any other player, but overall, it's hard to argue that the pressure has bothered him in one-day internationals. Have you ever wondered how I watch so much cricket? I use VPNs to log into accounts from all around the world. But because before, even simple things like when something exciting would happen in a match, I would rush over to social media, and when I got there, the clips would say something along the lines of, "This video is not available in your area." In fact, most of the coolest cricket stuff in the world at the moment is geo-blocked because some random board didn't sign a deal where you happen to live. If you're a hardcore cricket nerd, the only way is to have a VPN, and we suggest Surfshark. They will give you the speed of your favorite quick bowler. They're as inventive as a T20 batter after a bunch of dot balls, and they're as secure as a specialist wicketkeeper with the softest hands in the world. And guess what? The kind folks at Surfshark are going to give you a deal. Enter the promo code Kimber for an extra 3 months free at surfshark.deals/Kimber. There are probably other things that Surfshark can help you with, like data and identity theft and traceability and intrusive advertising. But for us, it is our best weapon against the evil cricket geoblock. Go to Surfshark and type my name in KIMBER and get 3 months free today. What about in-game situations? Like say when your team loses its top order. Against Australia at Wankhede, it was mayhem. 4 wickets crashed for 39 runs as India stared down the barrel of losing to a small chase. But Rahul was unfazed. Batting responsibly, yet with positive intent, he constructed a magnificent 75 not out to get India home safely. Calm in the storm. In Eden Gardens against Sri Lanka, they were in real trouble with another chase. Rahul made 64 and 2 partnerships to win that game. And on Mirpur's treacherous pitch, where good batting goes to die, he looked just as assured when he came in and India were 49 for 3. He attacked Bangladesh's spinners and eventually got India back into the game. The Indians still lost that, but it was a low-scoring classic that Bangladesh just got over the line with 1 wicket in hand. That is 3 times in the last couple of years he has stood up, and that does not include this innings. Or the fact that India actually isn't in trouble all that much in ODI cricket, so for him to do this 4 times. And another thing that often happens with Rahul is he's really good in important matches, but the player at the other end is more loved. Look whose name comes up first in all these reports. Remember that Rahul was the top scorer and the unbeaten batter here. So there is a massive shadow effect when it comes to him. I mean, for most of that innings today, the credit went to Virat Kohli. And he batted beautifully. But he also gave a very, very simple chance that would have been caught somewhere around 97.8% of the time. Put it this way, Virat Kohli batted beautifully, but KL Rahul did not need Mitch Marsh's dick to assist him. Also, the most important part of this innings outside the start was what happened with Adam Zampa. And at 57 for 3, Australia still had a chance when Rahul went after the leggy. And what I love about these 4 balls is that he did take a risk to score that first boundary and put pressure back on Zampa. But then he respects the following ball. The next one is a wrong one, but he picks it and still plays it beautifully. And the last ball, he's handling a bad delivery, but with complete and utter control, and he makes sure to still get a boundary from it. This was the over that broke the chase open. And it's also worth saying that Rahul probably got the 2 worst balls in the entire game in succession, and somehow survived both of them. Throughout the innings, he played completely to his strengths, staying leg side as much as possible because he wants to hit to the off. He cut Zampa, drove well through the covers, opened the face of the bat to find gaps, and often played late so he could get the exact angle that he needed. It was a top quality innings against a very good attack in a World Cup, and then also with the team in trouble. 3 things he's not supposed to be able to do. The biggest error that KL Rahul made in this innings was at the end, where he accidentally hit the ball so well that it went for 6 and he cost himself a chance at a cheeky 100. That's a hell of a place to be. Not getting 100 in a World Cup because you've hit Pat Cummins inside out over cover too well. But I'm sad to say that finally the pressure got to KL Rahul.